So you want to pass a funding challenge, but you're too scared to try, or you keep failing. It is a bit of a scary process to go into, and it can be very disheartening if you keep throwing away money on these funding evaluations. But passing challenges is actually very simple, and it doesn't need to be hard and stressful like you're currently making it. So here is the 5-step process to passing every evaluation challenge you take without the stress, without the hardship, and without the frustration. And I'm going to be using some of the insights from the frameworks that my students have used to achieve over $13 million in funding, so you know that this works. All right, step number 1. The first thing that you need is a working system. You need to have a market edge that is going to consistently pay you enough to pass the funding challenge without breaking the risk limits. So if you don't have a system yet, go and learn one, buy a course, or go and self-teach yourself something, but that is the first thing you need. And once you've got this system in place and once you have a trading plan, what you need to do before you even think about taking on a funding evaluation is backtest this process. Because if you don't backtest your system, you really have no idea if your system makes money. And if your system is not making money consistently, it is never going to pass you a challenge. And even if it did by some stroke of luck, it would never generate you profits anyway, so there'd be no point having a live account. So if you do a year of testing on your system, yes, I know it's not the most exciting thing, but it's what separates the winners from the losers. You now have 12 months of data to assess how profitable is your system, what are your deepest drawdowns, what are your odds of actually succeeding at the challenge, and what is the likelihood that you blow a challenge up? And if you do, what's the likelihood that next time you buy one, it's going to pass? If you backtest this data, not only will you build confidence and knowledge and experience in trading your system, but you'll also be able to see how viable it is at passing challenges. And if passing a challenge with this system is not viable, this data is going to allow you to see the weak points so you can start expanding off of that and actually optimizing and refining your system into something that will help you win. So that is step number 1. And step number 2 is to stop thinking about the prop firm target. All too often, I see traders are fixated on trying to hit the target as fast as possible, as if it needs to be done today, but think about it for a moment. Recently, all prop firms got rid of time limits from their challenges. There's only a few now that have time limits, and I would just advise don't go with one of them. The major prop firms have got rid of time limits. So there is now absolutely no reason to rush on your challenge. This is awesome because it means you can take your time, trade your system properly, and eventually you will naturally pass. I want you to think about this for a moment. Does it really matter if you pass today? If you could be funded, guaranteed in the next 6 to 12 weeks, wouldn't that be good enough? Knowing that you could be trading $100, $200, or even $500,000 before the year ends. Is that not enough motivation to just be patient and follow out your systems as you should? It's better to zoom out and step back for a moment and realize almost guaranteed funding before the end of the year is a much better option than trying to gamble your way to success and maybe ending this week with another loss, another disappointment, and another $500 to $1,000 down the drain. A little exercise I want you to do is actually shift the evaluation. Create your own personal evaluation. From today onwards, your goal is not to hit that profit target, but it's to exercise brilliance in the application of your trading. It's to take the best possible trades, manage them in the best possible way, and exit them as profitably as possible while minimizing the downside on the trades that don't work out. If you start to focus on this as your evaluation, the money is going to naturally flow in very quickly, quicker than you may imagine right now. So create your own mental evaluation. You are no longer looking to make a profit target. You are just trying to exercise brilliance and take the best possible trades and see how quickly your profit target is achieved by simply shifting your perspective like this. Step number 3, please don't try to be smart with your risk management plan. Now, I've seen some videos that other creators have made, and they give you silly little gimmicks around risk management that you might think, oh, wow, that's such a wise idea. For example, one of them that I saw is trade your way to 3% profit by risking 1%. And when you get to 3% profit, risk it all, because if it wins, you'll have passed the challenge. But what if it doesn't, and you end up back to break even? Sure, you'll still break even, you're not in drawdown, but this is massively disheartening, and this is where people's psychology starts to break and they start to make stupid decisions. Because you might think, well, damn, why did I take that trade? I've just thrown away 3%. I should have that back. That's going to lead you to revenge trading. Revenge trading is going to lead you into deeper drawdown. That is going to lead you to more revenge trading. Before you know it, your account is gone. Now, maybe this rule made a slight bit of sense when there were time limits on the challenges, but now there isn't. There is absolutely no excuse to be doing silly things like this. So instead, what I want you to do is choose 0.5% or 1% risk and just stick with that throughout your entire challenge. If you do that, focus on following the previous step of actually just aiming to take the best possible trades, you'll get through in no time, trust me. And guys, I would not recommend risking more, because if you do risk more and it works out, you've gained a good experience from a bad decision. That creates bad habits. Those bad habits will come back to bite you down the line and probably take away one, if not more, of your live accounts. So be patient, be slow, everything will come out in time. Step number 4, quite self-explanatory, do not break your rules. If your system suggests you trade one pair in one trading session and your backtested data suggests that that is a profitable way to get through challenges and earn a living, then please do not break that, even if for one day or a week or 2 weeks, no trades come around. Remember, as we said before, the only rush is inside of your mind. So if you be patient and just apply your system consistently, you're gonna do a lot better than if you fall into the habit of jumping to try and find other trades elsewhere when you're feeling a little bit bored or frustrated or impatient. Your system is in place for a reason. Once you've backtested that system and determined that it is viable to pass challenges, do not deviate. Don't break your rules. And step number 5 is to take a step back. I've got a funny story for you. A couple of months back, a friend of mine was taking a funding evaluation challenge. He sent me a message saying, I've passed phase 1, I'm on to phase 2. By the time I saw it an hour later, I called him up, he'd lost it. He had his phase 2 login for 1 hour, okay? In that hour, he totally obliterated it and he had to start all again from scratch. However, that is not it, the plot thickens. A few weeks later, he sent me another message saying, I've passed phase 1 and 2 and now I've got a live account. By the time I'd seen this, about 45 minutes later, I called him up. Guess what he said? I've lost the account. And do you know what the causation of this was? It was overexcitement. Once you pass your first phase, or once you pass your second phase, you feel invincible. You feel like you've just accomplished something big. Because you have. But this causes overexcitement, which then causes you to throw everything away, taking silly trades. Because you're eager to either pass the second phase, or if you've already done that, you're eager to get some profits locked in on your account. And like my friend, I've seen people obliterate funded accounts in under 1 hour. There is no reason to do this. So my advice to you is to take a step back after each accomplishment. So once you pass phase 1 and you get your phase 2 login email, don't trade it. Don't look at it, okay? Celebrate for a day, a week. Come back when you've internalized that success, because at this point you'll be feeling a lot more calm, relaxed, and rational, and you can get back to trading properly. The same goes if you've just passed your phase 2 and you now have your live account login. Give it a week. You don't need to trade it right now. It's there, it's safe. You can come back to it very soon once you've gotten used to having this, and then you'll be able to trade it rationally with good judgment and you won't blow it up. And those are the 5 steps that you need to follow if you want to pass funding evaluations every single time without the stress and frustration. Remember, the process is actually simple. It could just be that you're being a little bit stupid. So take it slow, adopt these rules, and get it done. I'm rooting for you, and I'll see you in the next video.